Hi everybody and welcome along to this Yoga Orkney online session. So it's suitable for all levels, to beginners to people who've been practicing for some time. And really I try to incorporate as many options as I can in classes so that we all feel that we can get something out of it. If you have any concerns, please do ask or ask your healthcare provider, specifically if you're managing a condition that's unique to you. You know best, but please feel free to get in touch. Please make sure that the place that you're exercising in is suitable, that you have had a look for any hazards, you have a nice clean area to work with, and yeah, just work at your own pace, at your own level, and I hope you enjoy. So you don't need anything expressly. If you want a bolster, there'll be a few options where you might want to do a chest opener while we're on the ground, so you could grab that. And then, because it is the summer solstice, I do have a bit of a theme. So the summer season is all about love, joy, contentment, all these kind of positive things. So, but we also get the flip side with that as well. So there's a few heart openers, and then I've got a relaxation session that runs through just a little script about self-esteem and growing a little bit of confidence and things like that. So plenty of time, a nice good long relaxation session at the end is the plan. But start off in that constructive rest position, so you're lying on your back with your knees bent. If you have your bolster around, you maybe want to hook the bolster underneath the knees, and we'll just tune into our senses, do a couple of moves on the ground, and then we're going to flow while we're standing up. So get yourself comfortable, and remember, I can't tell you what's comfortable. If you're not comfortable lying on the ground, you can sit, you can do whatever you like. So just be aware that there's more options than just the ones that I present you. And we want to get some of the movement out of the way now so that we can concentrate. If we're not feeling comfortable in our bodies, then it's a little difficult to concentrate. As comfortable as you can do. So we're looking for good enough for now. Good. And then as you settle into this resting posture, whether it's constructive rest or something else, we just start to become aware of the body resting on the surface below you. So it might be your mat, it might be your bolster. You might feel your back, your legs, your hands, your feet, your head resting. I want to be quite specific, so it's all those points where your body meets the floor. So sometimes it can be helpful to start at the head and label all those points that meet the floor, or acknowledge that. The shoulder, the back, the hips, the feet. Do you feel comfortable enough for now? And the summer season is about that connection. So not just the connection you're making with the surface below you now, but the connection that you make with yourself. Do the things that you think about yourself and the things you do for yourself match up with those that you would do for others? It almost never does, but it's fine to consider that. And being present enough to enjoy any joyful moments. And we move through tonight's session with care for ourselves, for our bodies, for how we feel now. And maybe we don't know, and that's fine as well. All those points of contact that you make with the surface below you, your sense of touch. And then an inhalation, an exhalation, Maybe your attention turns to your breath. And if the breath is uncomfortable for any reason, just bear in mind that you can come back to that sensation of yourself resting and all those points where you meet the floor. And you might be aware of some sounds from around your room, music or the sound of me talking, or you might just hear some comings and goings from your own home, your own room, your own building. Touch, breath, sound. And they all just help us come into that present moment. And just allow yourself to breathe gently here. And just imagine for a second that that breath just carries any tension out of the body. We might encourage that tension to release by thinking about making the body feel a little heavier, especially around the hips or the shoulders. Maybe if I say the word softening or releasing, that might help. Just that sensation that there's some muscular tension that can release. And a soft, gentle exhalation is a reminder to let that tension go. Some days the tension will be released easily, and other days that's our task to work on, and that's fine, it's totally normal. And if you aren't already, you can roll onto your back. If you're in constructive rest, you can just stay in constructive rest. And you want to just press your right foot down into the floor, into the bolster, depending on where you have props underneath the body. Remember, you can move anything at any time. So we're not lifting anything, we're just thinking heavy hips, and this will help us with our standing work. Push down into that right foot, just until you feel that the hip wants to lift, and then let the body become heavy again. The hips maybe line up a little more squarely. And then you're going to gently push into the left foot. And again, we're not lifting the hips. We're just feeling that connection of the foot into the floor, how it moves the hips, the pelvis. Push down into that left foot. Sometimes it can feel like a lot of work, even when we're not really moving much. And these types of exercises really help build up an internal knowledge of the body, and that can help reduce pain, it can help with easier movements, and it can help with relaxation. Just moving from one foot to the other, pressing down just until the hips lift. And if I was to take a look from the outside, then maybe I wouldn't even be able to see any movement. And maybe you're not sure that you can feel any movement, and that's fine. We're just gently pressing one foot and then the other, trying to become aware of how that foot impacts the hips, the pelvis, the back of the legs, the knees, the abdominals, maybe. Any one or any combination of those. And then just allow yourself to relax heavy again. Relaxed hips, releasing that tension, softening the hips. And then again, you don't have to move any props, but see how you feel. You might just bring your left arm up and over your head. It doesn't have to touch the floor. It can be out to the side, and then maybe you allow the right leg to reach out. If you have a bolster underneath, enjoy. So opposite arm and leg are stretching out. And then with that left hand, you're just going to make a gentle, soft fist, and you're going to point the right toes away, and then you're going to slowly stretch out the fingertips and allow the foot to relax again, soft palm. So a gentle fist, we're not squeezing too hard. Point those right toes away, straighten out the fingertips. Heel comes back and fingers relax. One more time like that, soft fist, point the toes away. So we're just slowly loading up a bit of a stretch. Stretch out the fingertips. Release the foot, release the hand. So really subtle movements, we have to pay a lot of attention. That right foot can sneak in. Maybe you hug it into the chest. Maybe you just bring it back down to the floor. Maybe you want the knees around the back of the thigh or the shin. There's no right or wrong. You might move side to side. You might be quite happy lowering and lifting the foot. So we're just moving or stretching in a way that feels right for now. And trial and error's absolutely fine. Foot can come down, and we'll do the other side. So we're going to bring the left arm, it might be out to the side, it might be up a little, it doesn't have to be all the way straightened either. Just so that you feel that it's a bit of a stretch to reach the arm out there. The fingers stay relaxed. And then you're going to let the left leg stretch out away. Again, good enough for now. How does it feel on this side? And then you're going to make a soft fist with the right hand. So I'll show you with the one that you can see, but you're going to be moving the right hand. Pointing those left toes away. So the leg's really as straight as you can make it for now. And then you're stretching out those right fingertips. Only as far as feels right for your body. You might have to move the arm or the leg. Release the foot, release the arm. Soft fist. Point that left foot away. Stretch out the fingertips, release the foot, release the hand. Soft fist with the right hand, point the toes, stretch the fingers away, release the foot, release the hand. One more time, soft fist, point the toes away, stretch out the fingers, release the foot and release the hand. And then you can take the stretch with that leg. Maybe the knee comes in. Maybe you wiggle a little side to side. Maybe you hold on to the leg. Whatever feels like a good choice for now. And those exercises sometimes called somatic exercises. And it's really about just kind of identifying how the body moves. They can be quite relaxing. Sometimes they can be a really big stretch, and it's not uncommon for that stretch to feel tighter on one side than the other. So one more movement here before we move the bolster if you're using one, or we take a bit more of a stretch for the chest. So you're going to push the right foot down this time, and you're going to allow the hip to lift. So it's just the right hip. So you're almost kind of rolling as though you were just going to roll onto your side, but we're not quite going that far. So you're just rolling, and then the hips roll down. So think about this softening, releasing, relaxing the hips, pushing down with the left side, just enough to lift the hip and down. Now if you want to add a little bit of extra work there as you lift, so you're pushing the foot down first, hip lifts, maybe that right arm reaches up or to the side, and then back down again. And the arms are fully optional. It's often enough of a stretch without adding the arms, but see how you feel. But we're thinking about that foot first, and it can be an eye-opening moment really to see how much the foot impacts the hip. It shouldn't really be a surprise, but it certainly was a surprise to me, and I really only did did these exercises not that long ago. So if you enjoy the sensation of the upper body stretching for the last few here, maybe you could leave the arm lifted as you lower the hip down. All optional, you can move the arms and legs together or just legs, just arms. One more time to the left. And then releasing down. Have a little swish, just a gentle swish. And then we're going to switch the bolster around. So you can have this long ways if it feels like, if the arm movements were quite a strong stretch for you in that last sequence, put the bolster long ways. You can have it horizontally as well. It's just going to give you a little bit less support, a little bit more of a back bend. So it's going to be fish pose here, a bit of a chest opener, but we can always alter the arms as well. So all you're doing is coming back to that constructive rest S shape. So if it's long waist, then it might be okay for you to stretch your legs out. Just know that it's quite a big ask for the lower back. And the arms can be either side, they could be behind the head. If at any point it feels like a lot, it's a big stretch, we will do this standing as well. Just bring the arms clasped in front of the body and it just reduces the stretch. So we might be here, maybe the arms drape over the top. If the bolster is sideways or horizontal, then it can just feel a little different. So you just move around. If you don't have a prop, you could still do this. You just stretch the arms. It's always good when you get a few, the spine lining itself back up there. You can stretch the arms out over the head, only if you're not on the prop. If you're on the prop, that's probably too much. So just know that you have options, and if like me you're fidgeting around, choose another option. It probably means that it's not a comfortable one. You maybe think that's what you want to do, but the body's giving you a message. So comfortable enough for now is what we're looking for. And you can take a little bit deeper of a breath if that feels okay for you. And we're never forcing the breath, just a gentle inhale, exhale. And there can be a lot of tightness around the chest, and it's understandable. We do a lot of things in front of us. It's also a very vulnerable position, survival wise for the body, also for the nervous system. So it's preparing us here for the standing work. So if your hands are on the ground, you can turn the heat down by turning the palms down maybe. And you can increase that sensation of a stretch by turning the palms upwards. And it's just like the control on your shower, the dial on your shower. If it's too hot, you'd nudge it down a little. If it's too cold, you nudge it up a little. If you're lucky, you find that slice of a millimetre where it's the right temperature. Hence the good enough for now. So to finish off that analogy, you wouldn't just stay in a freezing shower or a hot shower because you turned the temperature there. So it's the same with your postures. And you can tune into that sense of touch, sound, breath, anytime. And you're just going to slowly make your way out of this shape onto hands and knees-ish. So we've actually done quite a lot of work around the shoulders, chest, waist, abdominals and the hip flexors. We'll do a cat-cow stretch and then we're going to come up to standing, and you don't have to do that any fancy way. I'm just going to use the bolster because it's here and it's much more comfortable. We're going to think about the hip, so that heavy hip, heavy hip again. tucking the hips underneath. So we're looking for a slumped spine. We're looking for that cat shape. So hips first, and then the head comes last. And just notice if the head's dangling down, just lift it back in line with the shoulders. And it might not be the biggest stretch, the biggest shape you can make, but we're not pushing the stretch to the very edge. And then we're going to think about the hips again, and we're going to reverse that. So the hips move to the wall behind you, and the chest lifts up. And this very much supports the last posture that you're in. Tucking the hips, cat stretch. Other way, and you might just come even into a neutral spine, or we come into that cow stretch if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, miss it out. Tuck. Other direction. One more time each way, thinking about the hips first. And that just helps build a bit of mobility in the lower back. Even if it feels clunky to start with, just bear with it. Hips first. And then coming into a neutral spine, and we're going to come up to standing. So you might find that you want to do a downward facing dog to get yourself up to standing. You might want to take a lunge position, up to you. Some people like to keep the downward dog in there, up to just see how the body feels. Tiptoeing, hands and or feet, and then slowly coming up to standing. And just take your time, because it's the first time we've been up on our feet for the session. So if you are a little lightheaded, just take your time. Feet are going to come into a comfortable standing posture, and feel free to move around. Don't look down at the feet and change them. Just want the feet to feel nice and heavy into the floor. So Tadasana, bit of a bend in the knee, bit of a shuggle of the shoulder so you can relax. See how willing the arms are to be free. Sometimes they're like this off the end of the shoulder, but maybe after the arm work on the ground that they feel a little looser. Maybe not. There's no right or wrongs, or the body works in mysterious ways sometimes. So you're going to bend the knees a little bit here. Take the arms over the head. So that soft fist we made earlier makes more sense. So this is the same shape we made on the ground, but it feels a little bit different when we're standing. So we're going to soft fist, bend the elbow a little, arms up. Bend the elbow a little as you make the soft fist, and then you're just sort of stretching. And you're not, it's not big movements, it's just that little push in the pull. And then the legs are also in a squat, so that's a bit hard. So see how it feels. The next time you pull the arms down, you can lean forward. And as you lean forward, the arms just kind of push behind you. And we come back up. So we're going to take it nice and slowly. Bend the elbow soft fist. Press. So I'm inhaling here and then I'm exhaling. And then if it feels okay, if you're not feeling dizzy, if it feels good to be standing, you can kind of make it like a swinging movement. So keep that fist here, up, pull, just about pulling the light fixtures down off the ceiling. So this one's called the pump, and it is pumping the blood through the body, helps with the breath, but we're also pumping the arms, so it works the upper body, chest and shoulder. So it's that bent elbow, soft fist, push. And there's loads of variations of this. So see how the back feels. We want to feel relaxed into the feet. They're just holding us up. And remember, you can always take it slow. What does your body need tonight? Inhaling. The breath's always the first thing to go, and then it's usually the hands or the tempo of the movement. So they're all adjustable. Absolutely fine. Inhale, exhale. One more. Coming back to standing. Just gently pull the arms down. Hand circle one, and then the other onto the lower abdomen. Bend the knees and feel the legs working. Inhaling. and exhaling. So it's deceptively cardiovascular, that exercise. But the legs are pumping, you're pushing up and down off the ground. The arms are making big movements. But it's just not anything like how you would do in a gym, really. So left hand is going to find the pectoral muscles here, this kind of flat bit of the chest where the chest meets the arm. And you're just going to tap there with the fingertips, just a gentle tap. And you're going to take your right hand and you're going to do the opposite side on the abdomen, kind of where the hips are. So this is like heart, small intestine, which is our summer yin. And then we're only going to do that side. You're going to lift the right arm and you're just going to tap or brush down from the armpit. So this can be nice for lymph nodes. We're getting a bit of a stretch, and at the very least it just wakes up the nerves. And then you're going to do the other side of this exercise, tapping. So it's just kind of where the rib cage is, the serratus muscles that help move the arm up and down, move the shoulder, maybe brushing, maybe tapping, maybe a little mixture. Good. And then releasing. So that was like a side bend without having to do a side bend. Feet come a little bit wider now. You might want to turn the toes out. They might be facing in the same direction. And just bend the knees, take it easy, halfway down into this to a squat position. So your arms are going to come in here like a prayer position, and then you're going to sweep the arms out and then in. So you're going to keep the hands kind of flattish. Maybe the elbows stay bent, they don't have to push out all the way straightened. Inhaling, exhaling. See how it feels. Again, deceptively challenging these exercises. Inhale. So you're tuning into those sensory anchors again. Touch, so maybe it's here, maybe it's feet on the ground, maybe you feel shoulder blades around the back of the body, maybe you have a breath, maybe you can hear the music, sound of your own breath. Have the legs snuck out straight like mine have, see if you can keep a bit of a bend there. And it's again an option, a choice. Good. Arms come in, step the feet together. And then this time bend the knees. So the feet are somewhere halfway in between, wide and narrow. And this one's called something like sun dancing over the water. So we're going to stay relatively facing relatively forward, and then once we've done a few we can start a little bit more movement. So all we're going to do is brush both hands all the way up and all the way around. So we're trying not to lean too far back, and we're trying not to lean too far forwards, and the knees just bend as the sun skims across the top of the lake, as it will do at 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever, 3:48 tonight. And once you've got a few going, as you sweep across the water here, maybe the chest turns, and there's going to be some sort of organisation in the legs as well. So just let that happen. So it's as though we were kind of waist high in the water. We're just glancing the hands over the top. We're not letting them come down too far. Do one more full circle, and when the hands reach the top, we're going to move in the other direction. So once they come up, so don't worry about the twist, we just bending the legs, starting off that circle. Good. And then once you get the measure of this side, and it will feel different, then maybe we take that little twist. So it's just as you glance across the top of the water, we come up, maybe the chest turns a little bit, maybe it doesn't. Again, we're not leaning too far forwards. We're not leaning too far back. Nice strengthening movement for the upper body. One more, stopping at the top when you get there. No need to rush. Arms just come down. Bend the knees a little so you can move the feet to feel more comfortable if they don't feel comfortable there. Inhale, arms come wide. So it's almost like you're playing a little accordion, or that you have a beach ball that's being blown up and then the air is coming out as you go to put the plug in. So you're feeling this sense of a resistance. And if you don't feel it, just imagine that you can, it's fine. We're just moving the arms in and out. We're not flapping them around, in and out. And then when the arms come in, so roughly the width of your body, you're just going to circle the arms forward and back. So imagine you still have that accordion there, that ball there, trying to make it quiet. If it's an accordion, keep the ball the same size if it's the beach ball. And this is a little internal flow here, around abs, pelvic floor, lower back. Still with a knee bend, maybe the arms move up a little bit to that diaphragm area. And then maybe make that movement bigger. So we come up, all the way up to the sides of the head and around. So we're not moving the arms too far away from the body. And the next time the arms come close to the head, that's the last one. We're going to close off that movement again by just gently bringing the hands back together. So imagine that you're just closing that accordion, you're squashing that beach ball, and back towards the abdomen. And then you can just take a little shaker of the legs, of the arms, and we're going to come back down onto the ground. So hands and knees, you can take your bolster with you if you like. There's no graceful way to get down there unless there is, so just whatever suits you, go for that. And then we're going to take cat-cow stretch again. So thinking about the pelvis again, tucking, see if it feels any different. And then the next time you find the cat stretch, just gently take your right arm, slide it over to the left side. Maybe resting on the bolster, maybe the forearm rests on the bolster. Nice and relaxed, not too big of a deal. Unraveling, cat stretch, hips, cow stretch. Next time you find the cat stretch, hips first. The left arm just slides. So maybe we slide on the ground. Maybe the forearm comes onto the bolster. Whatever feels like a good choice, make that. And then one more each side. So we do cat stretch, cow stretch, cat stretch, right arm goes. And it might feel different because we're keeping that flexed spine. Cat, cow. And you might be working slightly in your own time, that's fine. Left arm slides. And then up. And then we're going to lie on the front. You might want the bolster here. See how it goes. So, arm position is everything in this next exercise. So I'll face away from you for this first one, just so you can see what's happening to the arm and what the choices are. So we're lying on the front of the body. Arms by the side, so bend the right knee or put the right toes towards the floor, and you're just going to use that right leg to roll you over to the left. So the closer the arm is here to the body, the less of a stretch, but still a stretch. The further the arm is away from you, here, maybe you could bend it here, the more of a stretch, but there's a play off between a stretch and pinching in the shoulder. So see how it feels for you. And the bolster can come in handy here for the front of the body. So I'll switch sides again. Just to help ease any tension. And you might rock quite far, you might not rock too far. See how it goes. You could rock in and out of the stretch. And then we spend 60 seconds or less really, so we're going to switch sides. Wherever you can get a kind of comfortable stretch. You can also use the bolster, I should say, to help with the chest if it's uncomfortable on the chest to be pressing against the floor. And then unravelling yourself, maybe passing through the centre, and you can find yourself into a constructive rest. So maybe we have the bolster under the legs, maybe we come back to that fish pose with the bolster under the back. Maybe you're done with the equipment and you just want to lie down. You could be seated. We want to be comfortable enough to sit for 10 minutes or so. Sometimes people find it comfortable to have the prop on top of the body. You might have the legs up, whatever, you get the idea. So take this next few moments to find a comfortable resting posture. See what the music does. I might need to just make sure it's a relaxing tune. And then we're tuning back into the surface underneath us. So all those points of contact that we're meeting with the surface below us. And we've done some chest openers, we've done some heart openers. Maybe open to receive some of that joy and that compassion and the connection that we put out to others as well. And we might be happy to focus on that sense of ourselves resting, all those points that we meet with the surface below us. Or we might be drawn by the sounds. We might find that is a easier task to focus on. We might be aware of the breath. Is that a relaxing sensation? If it isn't, choose one of the other things. Sound, touch. And then you can tune in and out of what I say next. You can focus on your senses, that's absolutely fine. It might just become a sound that you hear, or you might be happy to follow the narrative as well. It's up to you, you have choices. And from this comfortable position that you've chosen for yourself, can you notice how you feel right now? In the physical body, but also mentally. Just approach with compassion and an open mind. We don't have to attach too much of an emotional label to what comes up, just an awareness that something arises. And you might take a soft deep breath in through your nose And you may release that breath out through your nose or your mouth. And you might take another breath and just allow your breathing to relax as you exhale in a full way. And you're breathing in gently, and as you breathe out, just let the air carry any tension away from the body. Maybe a little memory of those heavy hips, heavy shoulders, relaxed body. And you might be aware of an area of tension in the body, any part of the body that feels tense or resistant to relaxing. Just turn your attention for a second to that area of tension, that area of the body that doesn't feel like it wants to relax. And as you breathe, just picture that part of your body becoming slightly more relaxed than before. And with each breath, that part of your body becomes slightly more relaxed. Maybe you imagine what relaxation feels like, a tingle, softness, gentle, calm, loose, free. Maybe you can let that feeling of relaxation grow, scanning the body for any other areas of tension. Maybe just asking to let that relaxation soften the muscles. Let that feeling of relaxation grow. Spreading that sense of relaxation throughout your body, whatever that feels like for you. Calm, soft, tingly, gentle, loose, free, whatever that feels like for you. We can imagine as we breathe in relaxation. And as we breathe out tension. Breathe in calm. And as you exhale, just let all that tension go. We trust the body will continue to breathe slowly and gently, deepening your sense of relaxation more and more with each breath. Deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed, calm, and at peace. And you can just start to begin to create a little picture in your mind of a place where you feel completely at ease. It might be your favourite place, it might be somewhere you've seen in a picture, or it might be completely imaginary. Just it's totally up to yourself. Picturing a place where you can feel calm and happy. And you're going to use your mind's eye to create some details in this picture, in this place in your mind. You can visualize the sights and the sounds and the smells of your place. You could imagine how that might feel physically. You're comfortable, you're enjoying a pleasant temperature. You may enjoy being still and relaxing, or doing some enjoyable activities. You feel this is a safe place, a calm, safe place that allows you to be at peace with yourself. We can remain in that calm place while we build that sense of confidence in ourselves. In a moment I'll just say a few short statements, kind of like a sankalpa. Right now, in this moment, as you enjoy the confidence, the relaxation you experience, maybe just repeat each statement in your mind or out loud, it's up to yourself, with absolute conviction, as much as you can muster just now. Use your imagination to fully believe each confident relaxation statement. The confidence relaxation statements begin now. I'm at peace with myself. I appreciate who I am. I value myself as a person. All people have value, and I am a valuable human being. I deserve to relax. I deserve to be happy. I embrace my happy feelings and enjoy being content. I imagine and I believe that all these statements are true for me right now in this very moment. I enjoy the confident relaxation that I'm experiencing. When my mood is low, I accept my emotions and I recognise that my low mood will pass and I will be happy again. I look forward to good times. I look forward to positive future. All people make mistakes. It's normal to feel regret about the mistakes. Because I'm a good person and I want to do the best I can. Even when I make a mistake, I'm still a good person. I can release any feelings of regret. Let go of any errors that I've made. I'm allowed to be free and free myself from any mistakes. I forgive myself. I can move on. I can imagine and believe that all these statements are true. I enjoy the confidence and relaxation that I'm experiencing. I feel good about who I am today. I can accept my flaws and accept my strengths. I know my shortcomings are strengths that are not yet fully developed. I'm eager to develop new strengths. I can approach challenges with strength. I imagine and I believe that all these statements are true for me right now in this moment, and I can enjoy the confidence, relaxation I'm experiencing. I accept myself. I do not compare myself to others. I feel secure in who I am. I care for myself. I can take time for myself and enjoy it. I deserve time for myself and to feel good about taking this time regularly. I handle difficulties with grace. I'm allowed to experience and express emotions, both positive and negative. I accept myself just the way I am. I accept myself. I am a valuable human being. I feel confident. I feel secure. I accept myself. You can just turn your mind again to your peaceful place, picturing yourself enjoying this positive environment. Acknowledging the feelings that you're experiencing after repeating the confident relaxation statements. accepting any positive or negative feelings you might be having, and allowing yourself to feel calm and at peace. And we're going to leave that special place. Know that you can return here in your imagination at any time to feel relaxed, calm, comfortable, safe, confident. And take with you any sense of acceptance, belief, confidence, and continue to feel positive and accepting of all the parts of yourself. You can hold on to a secure feeling of confidence as you return into your evening. And before we wake up into the evening, you might just wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bit of movement in your arms and legs. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling calm and confident and refreshed. And you might make those movements a little bigger, arms and legs, head and neck. And the next sound you're going to hear is going to be the bell or the bowl. And when you can no longer hear it ringing, that's your cue, your invitation to sit back up if you haven't already. And just be aware that I'll tell you again. Don't worry if you don't hear it or you forget. And if you haven't already and you would like to, you can sit yourself back up. Feel free to finish off with a stretch or a side bend, or you might bring your hands towards your own heart or the floor. Thank you as always for joining in.